Welcome back to the Workplace Safety Show. Again, Jay Smith here, joined by David Wesley. And as always, we're talking all things electrical safety.
That's right.
And most importantly, we're going to be continuing our video series here on the 2015 NFPA 70E, trying to summarize the changes and really just dive into some of the, I guess, I don't want to say more important aspects, but maybe what's more important to a lot of our clients and some of the questions we got. And today, we really want to focus on PPE selection. How does an employer go about finding out what type of flame-resistant clothing, voltage-rated gloves, tools, just all PPE in general? How do we select that? And the new edition, the 2015 edition, still has some guidelines and some tables that we're going to discuss on how to do that. So I guess, David, just walk through how we might select appropriate PPE.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll take one step back. OSHA requires you to protect your employees against known hazards in the workplace. So they don't tell you how, but they do tell you to protect your employees. The NFPA 70E lays it out as far as how to protect your employees. They have a three-step type approach that they use. It's a table method, and simply it starts with the first table stating, is there an arc flash hazard present? So it's a simple question, yes or no. So you look at the task you're going to perform, and if it meets the category and it says yes, arc flash is required, PPE, then you go to the second table. The second table is going to show you what level, 1 through 4. Now, knowing there's some information that you need to know on this, so it's not a simple step. You need to know the parameters of the equipment that you're working on. So you need to know your available short circuit, and you need to know the adjustment on your circuit breakers. So you have to go with that information into there. Now, if that information fits into the category, then you will get a number, and with that number, you can go to the following third chart, and the third chart will indicate what type of PPE you need to wear as far as shirt, pants, face shield, things like that. So
I guess in your opinion, having been through all of the other editions that we've had, is the 2015, is this a drastic change from the previous edition? Is this, is it easier? Is it more, how do you feel that the new table really fits in, simplifying the selection method? Is it easier to use now?
Well, they're trying to give some more clarification. And the big question that we've always asked is, do I have to wear arc-rated clothing? Do I have to wear PPE, or do I not have to? And they really have addressed this issue with these tables. So if a piece of equipment, and they go back to, we talked about the condition of equipment, if the condition of equipment is in poor condition, it's a no-brainer, you need to be wearing your PPE. But if you can show that a piece of equipment has been maintained properly, and you can document that, then normal operation of equipment, at least in the 70E, suggests that you do not have to wear your PPE.
So this description that we've just discussed here is for selecting PPE without having an incident energy analysis, an arc flash risk assessment completed. So there's still those two options. You have an arc flash risk assessment done, you get actual calculated values, pretty much a no-brainer at that point what the hazard is.
Right.
Or we still have this PPE selection table.
Yeah, one or the other.
One or the other, okay. And a big question that we get a lot of times is, I have an employee that needs to go up and flip a circuit breaker.
Correct.
David, what should they wear?
Right.
Big question.
Yes.
And what would be the response to that question?
Not an easy answer. It really comes down to the company's decision on this, but what the NFPA gives a guidance on, and we will give you guidance on that, is by viewing and looking at your records as far as your maintenance. If you have no maintenance of your equipment and you don't know what kind of condition it's in, then you have really no choice to wear your PPE.
Now, who gives that maintenance recommendation? Where does that come from?
That comes directly from the NFPA 70E. The 70E states it very clearly that if you have a maintenance program, these are the things that you need to do and document them. A good way to step back, and the way I always like to look at it, is if you had a fatality or an accident at your facility and the OSHA inspector said, show to me what you've been doing on this equipment, you need to have some documentation to show what you have done as far as maintenance goes. And maintenance can include IR type screening or scanning with cameras, and also as far as tightening to make sure that the equipment itself is in tight operating condition.
Tight, right. And that's manufacturer's recommendations, I guess, right? So
right.
each manufacturer has its own I guess,
Specs.
preventative maintenance, specs on how to upkeep that equipment, I guess, is where we're going with this here. And so, and that is that's new this year, right? With that emphasis in the 2015.
The clarity is spelled out. So before it was not spelled out that way, now it is. So you can go ahead and follow along exactly and check off all the items that you need to look for.
So I guess back to the question, which makes it tough to answer, the question of, if I walk up to a circuit breaker and I want to operate that circuit breaker, what should I wear? And you can determine it, what to wear or possibly what not to wear based on this selection method, equipment, condition of maintenance, I guess. But I guess more simply, if you've had an arc flash assessment, you have a label on that equipment, that's your answer to do the incident energy calculations.
Incident energy is the way to go. If you have an incident energy analysis done, that gives you an exact number, and that number you can basically correspond to wearing the appropriate PPE. There's no guesswork in that. So that is definitely the way to go. When you start going to the table method, they use a new term now called likelihood of an occurrence. So it's hard to, if you're a person there that's responsible for people's safety in your company, you definitely want to be having information that is solid, something you can base it off of instead of just a likelihood or a possibility.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if you can get a clear shot of this here. We actually have some Ppe Selection Guides, if you will, that we have available that we pass out to our clients when they're going through arc flash assessments. You can find these on Llewellyn.com. As always, get a copy of the most recent edition of the 2015 70E. That's where you're going to find these tables, this Ppe selection method. And, if you have questions, pick up the phone, give us a call, jump on Llewellyn.com, ask for David Wesley. We can help walk you through this. But, the overall goal here is we have to change what electricians wear. That's scale it all back.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're talking about changing how you dress for work and dressing yourself for success, if you will.
Correct.
Making sure that you've got the appropriate clothing to protect yourself in the event that one of these accidents could occur, an arc flash could occur. So, but I think that's a pretty good overview for today. If you have additional questions, as I mentioned, please join us or please give us a call. Find this video and others on Llewellyn.com, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here real soon.